All right, I'll say good day to you. We will begin with this transmission, which we have called the 3 behaviors of connection. And they are timing, communication, and action. Allow us to elaborate. This information is not only for the purpose of strengthening connections between each and every one of you as humans upon the earth, but also between the humans of earth and the hybrid beings that will eventually come to live among you. Because there are certain kinds of vibrational frequencies, certain states of being, certain energies that are very important for establishing strong connections between the hybrids when they eventually come to live among you upon the earth. The idea of tapping into timing of communication allows you to begin to be able to sense when the time may be appropriate to establish a connection, looking at all factors, not only in your society, but in their society, looking at the opportunities that come to you through synchronicity to show you when the timing is more appropriate than other times, to not be too eager, to not be too desperate, to allow yourself to relax into the flow of the timing that is essential for clear connection and communication between you and the hybrid beings. And again, this is something that you can begin to hone your senses on with respect to connections between each other, is to never be too ready to push an idea, an agenda, an idea of information to one another, but to allow synchronicity to show you when it has automatically set up the most appropriate and best possible timing in which information can be exchanged when all parties involved in that communication are receptive and open and willing to ponder and absorb and consider the information being shared that is representative of the excitement and passions of each individual involved in the cross communication. So being more sensitive to the timing of a communication will be essential not only for your own future on earth in terms of the communications that you may feel are necessary to share with one another to propel you forward in a positive direction, the sharing of knowledge, the suggestions of different pathways that you may take without the insistence or expectation that they must be listened to. Synchronicity will provide the perfect timing for this, and you will be able to sense it more and more if you relax into the way things naturally and automatically unfold in your society. The second part, the communication itself, the willingness to reach out, to share, to offer suggestions, alternatives, points of view, the idea of paths that others might take, but again, upon which you have no insistence that they must take, communication of essential and vital information that deals with connection, expansion, positivity, creativity, and unconditional love will be of primary importance when synchronicity has shown you what the timing is for such exchange. Then the willingness to communicate, to share perspectives, to see from each other's points of view will be of critical value in moving forward in your reality to build and shift and navigate yourselves toward a more positive version of Earth. Gathering the information you believe might be essential to share, the perspectives that you believe will be the most beneficial in being of service to one another, and in that communication, the asking of questions of how the other side of the communication might deem necessary information to be given to them, might ask for certain things to be shared, might suggest certain things for you to ponder. So it is the telling and the asking in the communication, as you say in your ancient language, the getting to know you, getting to know each other aspect of communication, really digging down and understanding that everyone has a valid point of view based on where they are coming from, and that the communication must not have any hidden agendas or any kind of desperation or need to force someone to see the point of view that you are espousing, but simply being offered in service as a suggestion for all to consider, to see if it is part and parcel and in alignment and in harmony with their path, their chosen path, and to implement and apply it where appropriate in their own estimation. So the synchronous timing of delivering the information, the back and forth getting to know you of the communication, and truly investigating the perspectives of each and what they bring into the communication, to get to know them much more deeply, to allow them to know you much more deeply, to create and forge common ground so you can move together in harmony, move upward and expand and move forward in harmony together, and build a more positive reality by shifting to the version of Earth that would support all of the dialogue and all of the suggestions and ideas and creativity and love that would come out, that would spill out of that equal communication, equal interest, equal curiosity, equal inventiveness, equal creativity, and equal love. And then, finally, the third principle of action. As we have often said, physical realities, language is the language of action, the language of doing. Words are not enough. Communication is fine, as we have just outlined. But the activity of following through, of doing what you say you will do, of supporting the whole in a variety of ways through the actions that you participate in, that boost and form the forward momentum, that demonstrate your willingness to commit to the ideas you have shared and the automatic timing of synchronicity. The actions you can take in your imagination, physicalize them to the best you can. Don't leave them in your imagination. Show each other and show the hybrid beings that you are willing to commit through physical action to what it is you have discussed, to be able to forge and build a different world, a world that is truly physically representative of what you have all shared in your communication. The willingness to participate, the willingness to be the reality that you say that you prefer to experience, to be the change you wish to see in your world, as you often say. Through those actions, through that commitment, through the willingness to demonstrate physically what you have talked about, then each other and the hybrids will know that you are serious, that you are committed, that this truly is representative of your passion, that it is truly representative of who you are and your core vibration. And so together, with the application of synchronous timing, the willingness of pure exchange and curiosity in your communication to get to know one another, and the willingness to take the actions to back up what you have said, to demonstrate physically by showing that you support what it is you have discussed, will navigate you strongly in the direction, vibrationally, of more connection and expansion with each other, and more connection and expansion with the hybrids when they come to live among you in the near future, in the years ahead. So we thank you for allowing us to share this particular approach to the idea of forming the behaviors of connection and expansion to one another and to those with whom you will be interacting should you continue on this vibrational course. We thank you for this opportunity, and in return for the gift you have given us of interacting with you, we ask you now, in what way may we be of service to you? Please begin with your questions and dialogues if you wish.
Bashar,
Good day, good day.
hello. We have a few hundred seconds only today, so I got your favorite tea.
What would you like to discuss in your few hundred seconds?
So my question is, can the hybrid children also cause this psychic shock you told us about?
No. To a great degree, they will already be somewhat assimilated into the vibration of your society, though they will remain on a little bit higher frequency, but they are already practicing how to blend into human society. Now, there may be a little bit of an adjustment period, but they won't really be capable of causing the psychic shock, or if they were, they would not be allowed to come and live on your planet. The idea is that they are practicing how to live among you, practicing how to adjust their frequencies in certain ways, while not lowering their frequencies too much, allowing humanity just a little bit of an opportunity to raise their frequency to match the hybrid's frequency, but it will be close enough that no psychic shock needs to occur.
And what will be the meeting point of the frequencies?
That we cannot say because it will depend upon the individuals.
Understood. But right now there is already not possible to make psychic shock or damage. We could basically meet him already.
You could meet some of them that are practiced already, yes. Not all of them are practiced yet, but eventually they all will be.
Is there maybe a hybrid child that wants to communicate right now with me and say something?
They are listening, and they are expressing the idea of excitement of being in certain enclaves and sanctuaries on your planet that are highly natural and allow them to experience the beauty of Earth.
So they're already visiting the Earth.
Now and then they are practicing by temporarily visiting not only natural sites, but also sometimes living in your cities, in abandoned or empty apartments or houses, to practice what it's like to live among humanity. But then they leave and go back to the ships, so another group can come in and use the same area to practice how to live in humanity. There are many things they need to learn, many things that are foreign and alien to them about what humanity and its cultures do.
Exciting, understood. And what is about the recent moon landing that crashed, the private moon landing? Can you
What is
tell us what
are
happened?
asking about?
Yeah,
You had a technical, there was a technical issue.
That's all.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And do already in secret have human space station on moon or the Mars?
No.
Okay. And do already a teleportation technology for humans, does this exist?
It does in crude form. It is not perfected. There are many things about this kind of technology that so far are beyond the understanding of the humans that have been experimenting with it. So there is a crude form of it, but it is not perfected.
Okay. And what about their Virginia, Brazil crash? Who crashed there and why?
The why of it we will leave for now, but the who of it, again, has to do with the grays and hybrids.
So the beings the children saw, the three girls, that was a hybrid being or a gray.
Yes, yes.
Because it was brown, they said.
There are brown hybrids.
Ah, so it was a hybrid.
A different kind of hybrid than the hybrids we have been referring to, but a hybrid nevertheless. There are many forms of hybrid out here among the stars. It depends on many things about what kind they are, but not necessarily the kind that we're talking about in terms of the children that will come to live among you. That doesn't mean some of them are not themselves brown, but what those children saw was something quite different, a different form of hybrid from an interdimensional place.
Understood. And you always talked about these frequencies that the planet right now has about 70,000 of cycles per second of vibration. And I'm interested, what are the cities on the planet, like a few cities with the highest vibration?
Those in the most natural settings, basically, although it can fluctuate. Some in urban centers, there can be patches of very high vibration, but overall, most of your cities, that are in more natural settings among trees and mountains and streams and forests will have the general higher vibrations.
So the people are automatically tuned into nature, and this is why the
Yes,
frequency of the whole city is higher.
yes, in general, on average. Again, it doesn't mean there aren't pockets of high vibration or even higher vibration in some of your cities that are not necessarily set exactly in nature, but it is compartmentalized in certain areas.
And one thing is also interesting for me about the story with Arjuna and Krishna, where Krishna says it's your dharma to fight basically your family. Did Krishna really said this, or is this something wrong?
It's interpreted incorrectly. The idea is that every generation is different, every generation evolves, and therefore must reach beyond what the beliefs are of the last generation. Sometimes that may cause certain conflicts on your planet because of the nature of the learning and training of humans, but the idea is being expressed simply as an idea that you must go beyond the belief systems of the last generation.
So it was not to fight. It was a completely different message.
The idea of the fighting simply comes from the idea of attempting to let go of the belief systems of the last generation. So it can be seen as a challenge and a struggle, and there may sometimes include actual fighting just because, again, of how humanity has been trained to think. It doesn't have to fight, but the idea is that it often does in order to break away from the belief systems of the last generation. Again, it's not necessary to fight, but often presents itself that way. But that's why it's happening, because one generation must break away from the beliefs of the last generation, and that often can cause different feelings and conflicts within humans.
Understood.
Will that do?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day.
Iliova, Bashar. When we meet beings from other worlds, we would of course like to do that as equals. Can you discuss what humans need to bring to the table, both individually and collectively, in order to meet beings from other worlds and realities as equals? Aveo.
Again, unconditional love, acceptance, allowance of each other, knowing that it is the strengthening of the differences that make each of you unique that will actually create unity in your civilization, which will then make you more vibrationally compatible to create unity with other civilizations. It's not about being homogenous. It's about validating the differences in all of you that are representative of the true version of who each of you truly are, as a reflection of the infinite.
Good day, Bashar. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful to meet you here. Thank you so
It is
very
our
much.
passion and our pleasure to interact with you. What would you like to discuss this day?
Thank you so very much. Future of channeling. Future of channeling. What is ahead of us for channelers?
The idea is that humanity is evolving to be able to consciously download information from the spirit level without necessarily thinking twice about it. The idea is getting out of the way, allowing your physical mind to align with the higher mind in such a way that you can download whatever information you may require at that time. That would be, in a sense, the future of channeling, where you're in that state and you're in that zone constantly and never leaving it.
Does it mean that the formula is like a navigation for channelers?
Yes.
Follow your passion. The channeler
Yes.
has a passion.
Yes, because when you follow your passion, you automatically go into the gamma state in your brain between 40 and 100 cycles per second, which is the channeling vibration, the channeling frequency in the brain.
Okay, thank you so very much.
Yes.
And would you answer the question, what is, from your point of view, what is living multidimensionally on Earth? In other words, quantum reality, may I say it?
The idea is to become, up to a point, more literally aware of how reality is created multidimensionally by your consciousness. Thinking of your body in a sense like a lens or a prism through which consciousness expresses itself and creates the projection that you call physical reality. So it's becoming far more aware that you are a multidimensional being, drawing upon different dimensions, parallel realities, different aspects of your being on different levels of spirit to create the information that you require in order to create the projection that you then experience as physical reality. Becoming aware of how you're doing this will allow you to feel like you are literally walking through a dream, walking through the illusion that you are creating, seeing it both as an illusion and a true experience that helps you grow and learn. So it's like the idea of dream walking.
Thank you, Bashar.
Will that do, or is there something else?
About, may I ask you one more question?
Yes, well, that was a question. Do you want to ask another?
Great, thank you so very much. About quantum hypnosis, I
Yes.
work with Arcturian frequencies, Arcturian energies. I'm using it as a quantum modality. I call it hypnosis, but it's more for me than hypnosis. I can't find exact words.
All right. The idea of what you're referring to when using the quantum state is what scientists call entanglement. In other words, again, another way of saying that everything exists simultaneously, that space and time are illusions, and therefore you're tapping into the vibration you need to download whatever information is accessible to you in that moment that's relevant for you to access. That is the idea of quantum entanglement, and also the idea of quantum anything, because everything is right here and right now. And the idea of understanding it from a quantum point of view is the idea that everything is right here and right now, reduced to its ultimate simplicity and accessible from any point in space and time, because space and time are illusions.
Yes. And the last question would be, if may I, about star seeds, star children.
Star seeds and star children are just another way of saying that there are souls that have decided that they're going to incarnate to be of assistance in the evolution of humanity at this time.
Very simple, very beautiful. I am very grateful for this interaction with you, Bashar.
It is our passion and our pleasure to interact with you. Aveo.
Aveo.
Greetings, Bashar. I have a question for you. What is the template level of our space-time reality? You've mentioned that there is a template level and that we are each exploring themes from this template level, that there is a specific template for our lives. I'm wondering if this template is actually revealed in the deck of what we consider 52 playing cards, and if this template level of reality is expressed and symbolized in the deck of 52 playing cards. Where exactly did these cards come from? Who created them and when? And what is the best way for us to utilize these cards now in our lives in order to explore the theme of our lives, play our cards right, and give ourselves permission to be our best self? Thanks, Bashar.
All 52 are symbolic of the template level because it can be mixed and matched in any number of ways. It's not any one card, it's all of them that represents and symbolizes the template level, which is created by the choices you make in spirit to have a physical experience. So, as above, so below. You use the energy of the consciousness field to arrange certain kinds of blueprints that will manifest physiologically as the theme you will explore in physical reality. And the idea of any kind of permission slip, like a normal deck of cards or tarot cards or any kind of divination system, represents to some degree the idea of the template level. Now, you have some freedom in that with your free will as to how you experience the template you laid out for yourself, and sometimes some things can be altered or shifted. But in general, the choices made by you as a spirit will be played out as the cards you are dealt. But you can shift them around a little bit here and there with your free will, but you will play that game. That's what you decided as a spirit. So that's how the cards represent the idea of the template level in energy that then becomes crystallized down in frequency, down into what you experience as the physical card game that you are playing. Playing the right cards, as you say, is easy when you simply follow the formula. That's the secret to playing your best hand.
Hey, how are you, Bashar?
Perfect, and you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Let's see. My questions are feelings or thoughts the higher priority for manifesting our reality? Because it seems like unresolved feelings manifest over our thoughts. So how are they linked? And
This is how it works. First, you begin with beliefs and definitions. What you believe to be true is reinforced by the idea of feeling that it is true, thinking that it is true, and behaving as if it is true. Belief systems use feelings, emotions, thoughts, and behaviors to reinforce the validity and the reality of the belief system, because physical reality isn't really real. Therefore, beliefs have to make you believe that it is real, and they do so by reinforcing what you believe to be true with the idea that it feels true, you think it's true, and you behave as if it's true. That's the priority, that's the order in which it happens. You cannot have a behavior, you cannot have a thought, and you cannot have an emotion without first believing or defining that something is true for you. Beliefs are the blueprint that allow you to build the house of your physical reality. So it all starts with that. So when you behave a certain way, when you think certain thoughts, when you feel certain emotions, they all go back to, what must I believe to be true about myself in order to feel, think, and behave this way? Does that help you?
yeah, so if I want to change the belief system, the action or how I behave would be the best way to start, and then the feelings and thoughts
You
would
can
follow.
start from any direction you wish, but in a sense, the most efficient way to change a belief system is to figure out what that belief is telling you, figure out why you're buying into it, because it may simply be a habit that you have because you've been taught to believe this way. It may be that you're getting something out of believing that way because you don't hold on to any belief you don't think serves you. So even if it doesn't seem to serve you, you may have a belief that says that the alternative would be worse than holding on to the beliefs you have, even if they're not comfortable. Because you all want to believe that everything needs to serve you, which is true. It can. But sometimes you have beliefs and you hold on to them even if you know they're not the best beliefs to hold on to, because you have a belief that the alternative would be worse. And therefore you'll still hold on to whatever it is you're holding on to until you change, until you understand that the idea that something worse will happen if you behave more like your true self is a fallacy. So you have to examine why the belief is there to begin with, allow yourself to understand why you're buying into it, and be honest in your self-investigation of what you believe will happen if you actually go in a direction you say you would prefer to. Once you understand that a negative and fear-based belief is simply telling you a story that isn't necessarily true, then you can see that it is nonsensical and illogical, and as soon as it is nonsensical, you will drop it because you don't hold on to things that don't make sense. If you do hold on to things that don't make sense, it's because you have a belief that says it makes more sense than the alternative. This is what we call the motivational mechanism in your psychology as humans. You always, without fail, move in the direction of what you believe serves you. You always, without fail, move away from what you believe does not serve you. So if you see yourself choosing things that you know intellectually don't serve you, it can only mean you've defined it and attached a belief to it that says it's better than the alternative. It serves you better than the alternative. Find out why you believe that, and when you expose the belief and the story it's telling you, you will see that it makes no sense, and it will be dropped. It will be gone.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Let's see. The next question is from the soul's perspective. Is the physical body like a radio-controlled car where you the soul puts input to make it go left and right, and then there's always input, also input from the environment? So it's like
To some degree, you can use whatever analogy you wish, but the idea really is that the physical world and the physical body is a projection of the soul's consciousness. It's like putting on a diving suit. More than the idea of a remote control car, it's like putting on a diving suit or a diving mask and going diving under the ocean. The mask helps you see underneath the ocean clearly. It's not designed to tell you what to do. It's designed to tell you what you're experiencing more clearly. When you leave the physical reality, it's like taking off the diving mask and going back to the surface. So even though you have free will as a physical being, the soul determines what the general trajectory is from its own free will, and that may be what the physical mind thinks of as destiny. In other words, you are the person you are. You will do everything as the person you are. You cannot actually fundamentally change the person that you are, although the personality can shift to a great degree, but it's still happening to you as you think of yourself as a separate autonomous being. So you have the free will to experience the destiny of the soul in any way, shape, or form that the physical mind chooses to, positive, negative, happy, sad, whatever, fast, slow, up, down, but you will walk that path because it was determined by your free will as a soul. Is this helping?
Yeah, the diving suit was a much better metaphor than the radio-controlled car.
All right.
Thank you. 2 more questions, really fast.
Yes.
When a soul wants to have an experience here on Earth, and many souls wants to have an experience here on Earth, who gets priority?
There is no need for priority because there are a multitude of infinite parallel realities that can have a similar experience.
Okay, and then the last question. On your planet, do you fart and do you laugh at your own farts like humans do?
We laugh, but we don't eat, so we don't fart.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was all. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, Aveo.
Aveo.
Good day, Bashar. I would like to know about the Bosnian pyramids, the ones located in Visoko, and like who built them and for what purpose, and anything you can tell me about the pyramids in Visoko in Bosnia. Thank you.
Pyramids around your planet at a certain time were all built relatively close to one another in time, around your 10,500 years ago. The idea is that they were energy collectors to balance the Earth that had gone through a catastrophic change when it was impacted by a cometary body that caused the annihilation of your Atlantean civilization. And therefore knowledge and energy was preserved in many pyramids around the planet. And also they were used as an energy balancing system to bring the planet back into alignment so it could recuperate and heal. There are other things that they were used for, but we will not go into that right now.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for talking to me.
It is our passion and our pleasure. What would you like to discuss?
So I've been following my excitement more and more since I kind of started to listen to you speak, and it feels really great. And I've been doing some like bigger and some smaller changes, and I'm following your advice of this thing of basically following my excitement more moment to moment, because there's no like one big thing in that sense.
All right, now do remember the entire formula, not just follow your excitement. There's other pieces to it, yes?
Yes, I know.
All right.
And I think what I'm like, one thing that just as an example that I quit one job that I felt like I was not excited about at all.
All right.
And now I have more free time, which is fun.
Yes.
And then sometimes I get kind of frustrated with myself because I feel like I sit there and I know that I have all these options to act on, but I
Yeah.
don't. I kind of don't know what to do, and I
Oh,
wonder
yes,
if
you
there's
do. Yes, you
any.
do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. The idea, again, isn't that complicated. Don't overcomplicate it. If you have different options, decide for yourself which one is not only more attractive, more exciting than any other option, but which one can you act on? Which one can you do something about? If it seems that more than one is equal, you might as well flip a coin. Remember, synchronicity comes to bear in this, because if you flip a coin and say, all right, heads option A, tails option B, and you flip the coin, one of two things might happen. Let's say it lands on tails, option B, and you find yourself going, oh goody. Or you find yourself going, oh, I wish it had been option A instead. Oh, I wish it had been option A. Then you will know that that was the one that was more exciting. Or if you do head down a path that isn't necessarily the most exciting path for you at that moment, synchronicity will create certain circumstances that will turn you around in the correct direction. That's how it works. It's an automatic mechanism. So you don't have to sit there and wonder and be frustrated. Just act on whatever you are capable of acting on that contains more excitement than anything else, as far as you can determine, and let synchronicity guide you with the red light, green light aspect of its being, of its nature, which means it will bring you opportunities you can act on and take further, green light synchronicity. It will prevent you from acting on certain things that are not the correct path for you right now, red light synchronicity, just like you follow your traffic lights when you drive. You understand?
Mm.
So the starting and stopping is the way synchronicity guides you. No, not right now. Don't act in that direction. Act in this direction, whatever you can act on. And you have to use your imagination. Be very creative about the idea of what it means to take action on something in every way that you possibly can that has to do with that thing you say excites you. Even if you have to simulate the reality, that's taking an action on it.
Mm.
Let me give you an example that many people on your planet have used. There are many people who you call celebrities that are famous. But you will hear stories from many of them that before they were actually able to literally do what it is that they now do, that they're famous for, they acted it out. They simulated it. Even sometimes going so far for someone who might be a public speaker in an auditorium or a game show host or a late night interviewer as to go into a space, set it up like it's really happening, even to the level of putting fake people in the audience, maybe even just cardboard cutouts, and doing their routine as if it's really happening. Because then you're training your body to get used to the vibration of the reality of that, and that will make you attract it more strongly by doing anything you can to simulate anything you can to take an action in the direction of what excites you more than any other choice. And when we talk about that, it can also be very simple things. We don't mean when we say follow your passion, follow your excitement, that it has to be a grand project or come with trumpets or be a life-spanning career. Ta-da, here's your passion. No. Every day you have little options, simple options. I can take a walk. I can read a book. I can have lunch with a friend. I can watch a movie. Just choose the one that has more attractiveness, more curiosity, more excitement, even just the tiniest bit more that you're able to act on than any other one, and just do that first. You're still following your excitement by doing it on that level, and eventually it will usually snowball through synchronicity to bring you more and more opportunities to act on your passion in bigger and bigger and bigger ways. But the point is, it doesn't really matter if it does or not, because you're still following your excitement just by making sure that every day the options you choose are more exciting than any other option, and taking action on the ones that you can. That's all there is to it. You don't have to make it a big mystery or overcomplicate it or overthink it. That's why you're frustrated.
So you're saying I'm frustrated because I am making it way more complicated.
Yes.
Because I feel like sometimes it's literally that I have like an afternoon off and I'm sitting at home and I don't know, like I
Then you're not using your creative imagination. sitting at home. Why are you speaking with us today? Was this more exciting than any other option?
Yes.
Well, you see, that wasn't hard. So what will you do after this conversation is over? What are your options after this conversation is over? What are your options? Name some.
Probably go to sleep because it's quite late here.
All right. Going to sleep can be exciting. That's fine. But let's say it's morning. What would be some of your options?
Usually like go for a walk, go to workout.
Do you enjoy those things? Are they expressions of your passion?
Yes, they are.
Are you sure? Because you kind of hesitated.
No, I'm sure.
All right. Because remember, sometimes you may be sort of doing what excites you, but you may not be doing it in the most exciting way. Because the idea of following your passion requires every component of it to also be the most exciting way. So you can do a thing, but where you're doing it, how you're doing it, when you're doing it, with whom you're doing it, all have to be of that vibration, or you're not really following your passion. So you get to decide the way in which you're actually acting on your excitement. And isn't that an exciting thought?
It is actually.
All right. So just make sure that whatever it is you choose to do out of the options that you have, whether it's taking a walk or working out, you're doing it in the most exciting way as a whole system. All the components of it are being done in the most exciting way. And if you can't find that one of the components is the most exciting way you would prefer to do it, use your creative imagination to create your exciting way of doing it. Yes?
Yeah, I think that what you just said with the creative, that actually helps a lot. I've never thought about it that way, that I have the power to do that.
You do. Yeah. You do. So if that makes things more exciting, then you're on the right path.
Yeah.
Does this
help?
Thank you.
Yeah, that helped a lot. Yes, it really did.
All right. Does that serve you today?
Yes.
Then we thank you for your interaction. Aveo.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Of course, always. You too.
Thanks. Bye.
Why would I have anything else?
Sorry?
Why would I choose anything else?
Oh, yeah, that's makes sense.
Yes, I know. That's why I said it. So go and don't choose what doesn't make sense.
I will. Thank you so much, Bashar.
It's up to you. Thank you.
Bashar. I'm interested in the technology Ra mentioned in the raw material, known as a prana vacuum. How can we create a prana vacuum using today's technology?
The so-called prana vacuum is the same thing as the idea of what you might call the quantum vacuum, is the same thing as the zero-point energy concept that many people are talking about on your planet. It exists all around you. The technology exists that you can use to tap into it in certain ways. Many of the kinds of things that people have invented that say it's tapping into the zero-point energy are not exactly doing so. But the idea is growing in the consciousness, the collective consciousness of your planet, until such time as that awareness evolves into technology that will truly tap into that prana field, the quantum field, the void, and whatever else you may wish to call it. It will allow you unlimited energy, unlimited flow, an inexhaustible supply of energy that can be utilized in a variety of ways once you truly tap into that technology. It has to do with creating devices of proper resonance, proper frequencies, capacitors that vibrate at certain resonant frequencies that deliver and transform energy in a certain way, step it down in a way that you can use with your technology. We have talked a little bit about this as a space-time antenna concept. 3 nested spheres separated by phi ratio diameters, penetrated by antennae that are insulated from a Merkaba, a double interpenetrated tetrahedron in the center of the 3 spheres. that resonates at certain frequencies and can be activated by the introduction of energy into it, and it will output energy of a higher caliber, a higher level, and a higher frequency, tapping into the quantum field in certain ways. But many people on your planet, a few of them, are beginning to experiment with this, and we cannot deliver more information about this device until they have already achieved what it is we have already delivered. End of discussion.
Hello, Bashar.
Good day.
Thank you for having this conversation with each other in this way.
It is our passion and our pleasure to do so. What would you like to discuss?
Talking about the hybrid children, you've mentioned in the past that contact between hybrid children and their mothers will expand over time.
Yes.
Has this process indeed started on this timeline? Is
Yes.
there an increase of physical contact between human beings and the hybrid children?
Yes, but in an altered reality, not necessarily physically on your planet so much, but in a slightly altered version of physical reality, and in dream time, these encounters have increased.
Okay, wonderful.
Eventually, it will leak into the physical reality as you understand it,
Yes.
although it will still be of a higher vibration than it is now.
Yes, understand. Yeah. And I also wanted to talk to you about suppressed memories.
Yes.
During our previous conversation, you've mentioned that I was visited by the Grace when I also was a child,
Yes.
and that these experiences are buried deep within my consciousness.
Well, not that deep.
Oh, not that deep. You also mentioned that I felt victimized because my childlike state was not able to comprehend what was going on during these visitations.
Yes.
Okay. And is it correct to say that from the point of view as a human being child, that these visitations and the removal of genetic material was somehow experienced as a trauma on a psychological level?
Yes, but only because of the way you were raised as a human, not because it's innate to the being a child, not because it's innate to being a human child, just because of the way your planet views these kinds of things, and because it is short-sighted in its compartmentalization of awareness. That's the only reason you experienced it traumatically.
And is that also the reason that we're still somehow afraid of extraterrestrials?
Because you are afraid of portions of your own power. And the extraterrestrials you're encountering represent and reflect the idea of your true power in certain ways.
I understand. And that, that's probably not a coincidence, but that leads up to my next question. Both my parents have transitioned almost within 3 years of each other. And the last parent, my father, passed 1 year ago.
Yes.
And their physical absence caused a shift in my life.
Yes, of course. That's the purpose of it.
Yeah. I experienced this as a tremendous opportunity to shed a whole bunch of negative belief systems that I have bestowed upon myself through their upbringing.
Well, congratulations. That is a positive way to use it.
Thank you. But I also sense that this tremendous opportunity is sometimes a bit frightening.
Why?
As if this whole new space that has opened up is sometimes too big to handle.
Impossible. Otherwise, you wouldn't experience it. You only grow into the space you're ready for. So no matter how it looks, you're making a comparison, still using some of the outdated beliefs to view it, instead of letting go of those outdated beliefs and understanding you cannot experience more than you're ready for anyway. You can expand into it. That's why it looks that big, because that's how big you actually are when you let go of the limiting beliefs.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. And I also am aware of the physical impact of this awareness.
Yes.
For instance, when my body is sleeping,
Yes.
it seems to respond to this awareness with an actual physical shock during the night that eventually wakes me up.
Yes, it can, because again, your body's not used to that vibration or frequency of energy, but it can get used to it over time.
And how can we do that? Can you say something about how to integrate this new space and the awareness of new space and the physical response to this? Is it just going with the flow, letting it happen?
That's one way, practice in a sense, having it happen over and over again. You'll get used to it. That's one way. But one way to accelerate that is to understand or have a perspective where physical reality isn't really separate from spirit reality. It's really not so different. It's just that you've defined it as very different. You've placed certain definitions on physical reality that makes it seem so unlike spirit reality, when in fact it's a natural extension of it.
Okay, and the physical body that reacts, how can we smoothen that out?
Well, this is what I'm telling you. Stop making such a separation in your belief system between the idea of your physical body and your spirit. Your physical body is your spirit in physical terms.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same kind of idea, if you wish, a crude analogy of saying ice is still water. It's just frozen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same thing. It's the same substance, essentially. And so is steam. So if you start looking at your body as if it's simply, euphemistically, a frozen version of your spirit, or at least a portion of your spirit, you can start to allow the physical reality to sort of melt a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
allow it to become a little bit more fluid, a little bit more liquid, and not be so different from the liquid version or the steam version. So you have to start really looking at physical reality as if it's just another state of being of spirit and not really separate. It's the idea of separation that's tripping you up.
Yeah, I understand. And you also said something about that the human beings on Earth will become more and more human over time.
Yes, you're actually not fully human yet.
Yeah, and I was wondering what you meant by that. What does it mean to be human as opposed to not being fully human?
Being fully human means that you understand that everything is made of unconditional love. You understand that everything is connected, everything is a reflection of everything else, and you act accordingly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Being fully human is what you ascribe to beings like Christ, Buddha, Krishna, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. It's the idea of the behavior that reflects the godhood within you.
Yes. Yeah. And that probably also means that we're not so compartmentalized in our way of thinking then.
Exactly. You think more holistically, more as a whole system. That's why I said you understand everything is one thing. I am you from another point of view. Literally, I am you from another point of view. You are us from another point of view. A fully realized human lives in that truth.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Bashar.
You are so welcome. Aveo.
Aveo.